discuss. Feel the rush, come join us. Fan Zone Live, we unite under the stadium lights. Every team, every score, we always hunger for more. Big plays, sideline views, breaking down the latest news. No holds barred, just our take. This is where legends await. Live play, sideline views, breaking down the latest news. No holds barred, just our take. This is where legends await. Friday nights and Sunday games, we know all the biggest names. Huddled with the crew we trust. Football feeds the fire in us. Fan Zone Live, we unite under the stadium lights. Every team, every score, we always hunger for more. Friday nights and Sunday games, we know all the biggest names. Huddle with the crew we trust. Football feeds the fire in us. Fan Day mornings feeling alive. Jerseys on, we're ready to die. In the Fan Zone, we'll come on. Let's cheer loud, let's stand tall. Back and forth, the stories fly. Who's the best? Fans can't lie. Touchdowns, tackles, we discuss. Feel the rush, come join us.
Welcome to Fan Zone Live, your home for arena football fan stories and conversations from around the league. I'm Scott Birk, and this is not Tim Capper with us today. We've got Randy Snow from the World of Football. This is kind of cool. You know, usually we're in the evening. It's a whole different setup. We're going to kind of just be having old people roll through, and we're here on the floor of F&M Bank Arena. Got the scoreboard lowered behind us. This is awesome. Randy, first, how are you doing? You're over here. How are you doing, Randy?
I'm doing great. That's a heck of a background you've got there with the moving lights and all the different colors, and then here I'm sitting in Kalamazoo, Michigan, with all my colors and different things I've got behind me too. So I think some people may be going into some kind of a visual shock or something watching us for any length of time today.
We might need a seizure warning or something for that screen behind us, but you know. but yeah. So we're starting things off with the. I don't know. You played what, 6 games?
Started 6 games.
Started 6 games. So started half the season for the Albany Firebirds, and the brother of the Nashville Cats quarterback, Josh Kolga. How you doing, Josh?
I'm doing good. Blessed to be here.
So rookie season.
Yep.
Fresh out of college, right?
Oh yeah, I graduated in December.
So, what's this like to be stepping into professional sports and not just that, but starter on day one?
Yeah, definitely very different. You know, I obviously graduated in December, just finished up my fall season. We played Thanksgiving weekend, so last weekend in November, to go into training from a pro day, doing my pro day, and then 2 days later, driving from Michigan over to Albany to start my professional career. And then definitely being a shock, Sam, going to the UFL right before week one. That's a week of, yeah. Find out Monday before our game on Saturday, and just, yeah, no, definitely have learned a lot. I feel like this year has been very eye-opening for me. I've been very blessed with a lot of great opportunities that have been presented to me this year. You know, I got to play my brother a couple weeks ago, and now we're in the championship. Yeah, playing him again. So, you know, I've been blessed a lot. God has definitely looked out for me, but I've definitely learned a lot, learned how fast-paced professional sports can be, and just, you know, learned a lot of great lessons that I'll definitely carry on.
So six starts and what, 4 weekly league awards?
Yeah,
out of those 6
four
starts?
weekly league awards. Yeah, two MVPs and 2 offensive MVPs.
Man, if you start all 12 games, you might be fighting your brother for MVP right now.
that was what we had talked about, and before Sam came back, that's definitely one thing that me and him, we call all the time, talking all the time. So being able to talk like, oh, who has more touchdowns this week? Who's leading in yards, yada, 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 so that's always something that we talk about. But I mean, really, it's just more fun. You just want to win games, and that's really what it comes down to. And obviously Tyler's done a great job at that. And obviously we're here, so we've been doing at least a little bit of a good job at that too.
For sure. Randy, you got pull you in here just because it's easy to be virtual and forget about you here. So.
Yeah, I do have a question for Joshua. So you weren't expecting to be the starter early in the season, so you were preparing as the backup. Then you're thrown into the starter, and then you go back to the backup role. How hard is that to go from practicing to be the starter to not be the starter? It's got to be confusing and a little bit hard.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not the easiest thing. Coming in, I knew Sam was going to be here, but fresh out of college, you kind of are like, oh, I kind of want to learn the arena game, before just getting thrown in there. But then I got thrown in the fire, and I felt like I played well. Like I felt like I had, shown that I deserved to be a starter somewhere in this league, which I think made it a little harder. But honestly, what made it super easy is Sam Castronova, the guy who came back. He's just such a good dude. I always say it, like, he was like an older brother to me, just like Tyler, just like a second Tyler there. And, he's coached me up. He's just such a great dude. And I think he made it a lot easier because, me and him have such a great relationship, being with him. But obviously, you always have that competitor in you. Like, you want to play. So it was awesome that they gave me the last 2 games of the season to be able to start, be able to go out and play really well in those 2. Just kind of, I think, is going to propel me for next year, whatever, God has in the plans for me. But, yeah, definitely not the easiest thing. But, you always got to be ready. I think I'm good enough to be playing in this league, so I'm always preparing like I'm a starter.
Well, between your brother and Sam, you couldn't ask for better teachers.
Exactly. I think that's what I think. I feel like I went in and I, could perform so well is because I had those 2 guys kind of in my corner preparing me and like giving me notes. I remember even when Sam had left after each game, like I'd text him at halftime during the game and he'd have notes and he'd be texting me back, letting me know, and then calling me after the game, like talking to me because, he knows the offense. And then I'm calling Tyler, he's been so amazing this year and everything like that. So having both of those guys kind of in my corner, cheering for me, helping me out, I think is what helped me be so ready to play right off the rip.
And last week we had a weekly round. We had a round table for wrap up the season with a bunch of the social media sites. I was comparing you to like a Ben Roethlisberger, your brother to like a oh man, I'm losing the name. Saints quarterback, Drew Brees.
Drew Brees, yeah.
And then Sam to like a Tyreek Hill era Mahomes.
Yeah.
So your style compared to those 2 guys is different. You are that kind of more physical. They can bump into you. You're not going to the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
And then all of a sudden you step up out of nowhere and make a throw.
Yeah.
How has that been any, like, to pick up things from those guys who have a different style? Has that made it any difficult for you?
Oh, I think I've definitely picked up things from both guys. Obviously, I feel like I play like Tyler's very much the same way. He'll stand in there, he'll take hits. He's a very tough guy. And I think I definitely take that from him. Growing up, I always wanted to be like Tyler. You always have that older brother training and everything like that. He's the one who coached me up since I was younger, so you always want to be like him. So I feel like I took a lot of my toughness, a lot of my work ethic from him. And then, playing with Sam this year, I feel like I showed the last 2 games that I got to get in, just being able to move around the pocket a little bit, be able to escape a few more guys, just kind of bringing that into my game. I think I got a lot of that from Sam because he is very mobile. He can get out of the pocket, make a lot of crazy throws. So just working on those different throws, those different footwork, stuff like that, I feel like I can take from everybody's game. And I think that's what any great athlete should do is everybody does something well. And if you can pick out what those things are that you can incorporate into your game, it's just going to make you that much better.
And the sorry, I totally lost my train of thought.
I've got a question.
So go for it, Randy.
I've got a question. How hard was it to learn the arena game? I assume you had probably watched some arena games maybe, but how hard was it to learn it as a quarterback?
It's just, I feel like the plays are simpler, but everything's so much quicker. And I think my brother tried ripping that into me as soon as my college season ended. He's like, hey, instead of just waiting like a lot of guys do after the draft to see if you get a call, he's like, just go right into arena. So I was like, okay, so he's trying to train me and all this stuff. And I don't think you really understand how much quicker and faster you have to make decisions it is compared to the outdoor game. And I think it definitely showed week one, I think until about halftime, I think is when I started kind of getting in a groove, getting comfortable. But, you know, I don't think anything truly prepares you for how much quicker you have to make reads, how much quicker these throws have to be out than it does for the outside game where you can kind of be more methodical with things.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that first half of that first game. I remember you had a pick to the jack linebacker in that first game, and we've got a big group text together, or big group chat going, and I said, "Oh, Josh just learned about the jack linebacker."
Yep, no, that's funny.
But you learned it, and it never went back to that.
Exactly.
And that was the thing.
No, that's exactly what Coach Ware said the same thing after the game, after we had won, obviously, and we were all in high spirits. You know, I finished the game off really well, and he came up to me. He's like, "Yeah, honestly, all the coaches had a bet going that you were going to throw a pick to the jack because that's just something that you're not used to in the outdoor game. It's just something that, you know, it's just something you're not thinking about, especially as a rookie coming from 2-3 months before that. You're playing 11-on-11 outdoor football. It's just it's very different. But yeah, it's just those little things, those are the little mistakes that, you know, rookies make, and you just got to learn from them and keep going.
Well, like I said, that's what I noticed is you did learn from that.
Mm-hmm.
That was the last time that happened.
Yep, exactly. Had to learn how to throw over them, layer throws, and it's just like, you know, Sam and Tyler have been huge for that, and even Coach Ware, you know, all of them have done a great job preparing me.
So their thing, and Randy, you hop in at any time, but you mentioned too getting out of the pocket and being a little more mobile. You know, when an average release is 3.5 seconds, if you can buy another second or two by popping out of that pocket,
oh yeah,
that's huge.
That's especially in this game, like when you're in the pass game, unless it's a shorter route, it's 3-on-3. We have advantage in the pass games. That's why there's so much throwing in this game. And like, if you can buy one more second, that makes it so hard for DBs to be able to cover your guys, especially when we got all of our receivers on our team are studs. So it just makes it so much harder for those DBs to be able to guard those guys.
Well, I think, Joshua, you probably had a bit of an advantage because I think you already had a fairly well-established offensive line protecting you and giving you that extra half second, whatever it took for you to find a receiver.
Oh yeah, no, O-line, awesome. I mean, I think that also helped me a lot. Like I talk about Sam and Tyler coaching me up, but I obviously it was definitely not all me. I think coming into the Firebirds, you know, where we have studs at every single position. We have Zachary at fullback, we have Colby over at center, TK and B-Nick over at the guard and tight end spot, and then you have such great receivers like DT, DB, Isaiah Scott. You know, you have Reese, you have Ajay Hall, you have these studs like Cameron Alves, like all these guys. If you have guys around you, it just makes it so much easier for you to be able to pick up things quicker, especially, you know, like a lot of those guys are older vets and they coach me up too. You know, like when I make mistakes, believe me, they'll be the first ones to let me hear it during practice and everything. And you just learn from those mistakes. And you never want to do them again.
Well, and you needed all that depth this year. You guys had tons of injuries.
Oh yeah, we were riddled with injuries all year. That's another thing that I learned from professional sports is every week I feel like we had a different team just because guys getting injured, guys coming in, you didn't perform, bringing a new guy in. It's just a rotating door, I felt like, at some points during the season just because of the injuries that we did have.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. But Randy?
Did you suffer any injuries, like a minor injury or something more serious this season?
No, which is, I mean, God has blessed me hugely with that, you know, coming off of a really big knee injury in college, the last game of my junior year. Didn't really know if I'd even be able to play my senior year and kind of thugging through it, you know, kind of thugging through the knee injury where it wasn't really 100%. And then coming here, you know, I was worried. I was like, oh, it's going to be good to kind of be a backup, have some time to like really kind of let it rest. And obviously that didn't happen. So, but God has blessed me hugely to not have any big injuries. You know, obviously you're playing football, you're going to have bumps and bruises, your shoulder's going to hurt, your knees are going to hurt, you know, you're going to have those little things. Yeah.
You're too young for that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know, I'm just saying, like, you know, you're playing football, things are going to happen, but no, I didn't have any big injuries, nothing that kept me out. So, I mean, that was awesome. Huge blessing for me.
Yeah.
Well, obviously you're a fast learner and a fast healer, so that's a good combination.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, for sure. You know, God definitely has blessed me to get my knee at least ready enough to play for my senior season because at one point they were unsure if I was going to be able to. So that was huge. That was awesome.
Did you ever think you would be playing in a game like this?
Gosh, not coming out. I guess I just had no clue coming out of college. You know, you feel like up until college, your whole life is kind of planned out ahead of you, and now it's like you don't know what's going to happen. You know, I didn't know I was going to be here, didn't know what the season was going to look like, and now we're here. So it's awesome. Dream come true for sure.
So how did you get connected with Albany to begin with this year? Like how of all places to end up, how'd you end up in Albany?
I think my agent knew him, I guess.
Okay.
You know, I had some interest from other AF1 teams, and he was like, I think Albany would be a good spot. I'm going to send your films. I was like, awesome. He's like,
for anybody.
that's what I'm saying. He's like, I mean, it's a well-established team and everything. And I remember coming in, they were like, yeah, we didn't really know about you, and whatever. But I mean, I just heard in camp, I performed well and I came in and exceeded expectations. So I got to make the team, which was also awesome,
Were you at the Arena Crown last year as a spectator?
I was, yes, I was. I was cheering. It's funny. I was cheering for the Cats last year, and now I'm here playing for Albany. It's just a surreal moment. I'm going to MVP. Me and my dad driving up day of the Arena Crown, watching my brother get smoked by Prince, number 13. Now I'm his teammate. It's a full circle moment for sure. It's just funny to be a part of for sure.
In fact, Randy, you did the pregame show last year with us, right?
Yes, I did.
He was actually standing right next to us.
Yeah, I think
I
was.
doing the pregame show last year, so
okay,
he was right up to the side of us with his dad.
That's right. I think I remember that now. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So,
oh yeah, it's funny meeting people like you guys. Like I met some of the people for the like fan group in Albany, the flock support, meeting them, and then now it's like now I'm here, a part of it all. It's just definitely kind of weird but surreal. Same thing.
Well, it's we say all the time, it's arena football family. Once you kind of come into this world and get adopted by the fans and just the whole group, the ownership, the leadership, it's a family.
No, I mean, it's awesome. And honestly, like, I mean, I can't speak enough about the fans, like everywhere here in Albany. Like, I mean, it does make a world of a difference for me, and I know for a lot of the other guys on the team. I mean, I know they love it, and I know it's huge to have people that want to come see you, want to come see your games. I know it's huge for everyone.
I know those Albany fans take good care of you guys.
What do you say?
The Albany fans takes good care of you guys.
Oh no, yeah, we get the care
games.
packages, everything like that. Oh gosh, yeah, I can't speak enough about them. They are so awesome. They take care of us. They love us. We love them. It's definitely a great place to be for sure.
Yeah, they may love you players, but they don't always love us media guys from other teams. That's for sure.
Well, you know how it goes.
We got the Adams Snow commenting in here. They're gonna be wearing their Colcomania shirts this week.
Oh yeah. We had the Colcomania shirts. It's awesome to see those going around. I feel so blessed to be able to incorporate that nickname for myself. It was funny. I had some for my brother last year. Before I really came into my own. And now being able to get that nickname as well with my brother and seeing people wearing those shirts, it's awesome. I know my dad loves it. He's the one that
he sent me a picture earlier with the half and half.
Oh yeah, he's got the half and half. Yeah, no, they love it. I mean, it's so awesome. And like my brother's a great guy. Like I'm glad he's not mad at me for taking his nickname a little bit, or at least tagging along with it. But no, it's awesome. Me and him have definitely been dreaming about this for a while, so it's awesome.
Awesome. Well, I think we're gonna roll through. I'm not sure who our next first person is or who's coming.
I'll get Tyler. It's fine. Look at him.
But Matt, thank you so much for your time.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me on the show. This was awesome.
We'll definitely catching up and talking soon.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right.
Good seeing. Or I guess I'll look this way.
Thanks,
Am
Joshua.
I good at it? There we go.
Yeah,
Yep.
there you go.
That's good. That's good.
All right.
Thanks. We'll be talking to you soon.
Yeah.
Grab the mic for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try, and hopefully I don't break my camera in the meantime. Perfect. I'm gonna try shifting my computer over so it's not always having to look sideways. Put it between us, but hopefully it doesn't kill my USB.
So far, so good.
Nope, I think I lost it. I just heard my little noise.
Oh, yeah, you did lock up for a second.
Bear with me. It'll be right back.
Okay.
We're waiting on Tyler's on his way over here right now as it is, so we're good.
Okay.
I have radio interview at 4.
Okay. We're just however long you got. Hang out and chat. So we're live.
Works
so
for me.
there's that. That's your microphone there.
Oh, there we go. Perfect.
And then we got Randy here with us out in Kalamazoo.
Oh, Randy.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. Hold on. I can't hear you.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. How you doing?
I'm good. I saw you drive away last weekend. That was a bummer, huh?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to see it, but there you were standing down a corner with the wife and kids, and I just rolled down my window and started yelling at you. I don't remember what I said, but we were just on our way home.
I knew that face. I couldn't really hear what you said either, honestly, but I was like, hey, it's good to see you.
So speaking of hollering at people, I had a little boy in tears last weekend.
No
Because
way.
he just missed. He was running around to try to catch you on the side as we were leaving. And he
No.
just missed you, and he just started bawling.
Poor guy. Hey, you tell him Colcomania is going to give him a big hug after this one.
Oh,
All
yeah,
right, you tell him.
definitely.
Gosh,
Definitely.
that's my little buddy right there, man. Dang.
He was like, I gotta go see him. I gotta go see him. And he took off running. And right as he got to the top of the corner here,
No.
you took off, went to the end. It's like,
Dang.
oh man.
Yeah, they rushed us off the field after the last one a little bit. They had to
Yeah,
get us
it
back
was
in the
late
locker
too.
room.
We were hanging out a little longer. We should have.
No, it's all right. I mean, I just I miss little buddy. That's my guy.
So he saw you before. We'd remind him of that.
Yeah, right.
It's
Exactly.
Life of a 6-year-old, you know. But congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
This is huge.
Yeah.
I mean,
You said you wanted it to be drivable, right?
yeah,
I got
wanted
you.
to be drivable, and here we are. I got to bring all my gear, and
Perfect.
it's-
Yeah.
I couldn't have flown with all this. So
Exactly.
But yeah, you made it. You know, honestly, probably should have been an undefeated season. One broken play away, one weird pass interference call away from being an undefeated season.
No comment.
But you guys dominated. That was
Yeah.
really the only game you didn't dominate. You know, it was.
And we dominated that one too.
Yeah, I mean,
Again,
really,
no
kinda
comment.
You did. You really kind of
Yeah.
did.
Mhm.
But there's something I'm watching how y'all are playing this year, and it reminds me, honestly, of a better version of what Albany was last year.
Why do you say that?
You guys have all the same parts,
Mhm.
all the same talent level. Obviously, you guys are going to be neck and neck with that
Yeah.
Albany team.
Mhm.
There's something with the way you guys are locked in when you step on the field to do your warm-ups.
Yeah.
It's not that you guys aren't having fun. It's not that you guys aren't loose,
Mhm.
but the focus I've seen out of every person on this team
Yeah.
has been unlike anything I've ever seen in this game.
That comes from Coach Arbet. And that's the legend that he is. And then last year, you know, he kind of came in and didn't know what to expect and had certain people build that team last year. And it was, I mean, we were a good team or whatever, but
Great team.
this year he had a full off season.
Mhm.
And he took that full off season to build his team the way he wanted to do it. And, you know, with Clint, you know, Clint did a really good job and stuff like that. So, you know, and now we're here, and this is the team that he built, and he is a mastermind. There's a reason why he's in the Hall of Fame and a legend. Let's just put it that way.
Watching his play calling within a 1 minute of any half, it's a work of art.
Oh yeah.
He
I help
plays
with that a
that
little
call
bit, but you know, it's
perfectly.
mostly him.
Well, yeah, I mean, you guys still have to execute it,
Of
but,
course.
But if he's not calling the right plays to get you to stop the clock or
Yeah.
to do whatever it is to get your touchdown in whatever time he wants left.
Mhm.
I mean, there's, like I said, that's an art.
Yeah,
It's
no,
an
and
absolute art form.
it comes like you said, it's the experience
Mhm.
from him. You know, he's a legend,
Oh, yeah,
and
absolutely.
you know, calling the plays with Steve Pappen, you know, he's also a legend in his own right. And
Mm-hmm.
so, you know, having those two be able to talk to each other and be able to converse and be able to create, you know, things like that work of art, that 1 minute drive is amazing to kind of see from as a quarterback, learning and that knowledge, be able to go in and be like, oh, they're calling this because this, and we can do this, and we'll call this play to set up this next play. And it's very, very cool, honestly.
So we're year 2 for you. It's still, you haven't had a huge long history in this arena
No.
game for doing as well as you are. I've noticed some things in your mechanics from last year to this year. But what have you seen? What have you worked on to improve your game, knowing what to expect more this year compared to last?
You know, I think the biggest thing is timing, right? You know, I think a lot of people come from the outdoor game and want to come play this game, and they don't realize how fast it is. And I had to learn. I last year I really had no time to learn. You know, I came in week 2, and I had a pro day. I was going to throw out a pro day in front of all 32 NFL teams at Marshall. And so I missed practice that week. And so, you know, Rakeem Cato got the start and played against Albany and lost. And then after that, it was all right, Colco, your turn. And it was like, whoa, I'm thrown into the fire with 2 weeks of practice, and I don't even know what this is all about. And so, you know, I was kind of just learning on the fly. And I had a great OC, Coach Payton and Coach Arbet really kind of helped me along that process. But last year it was a lot of just I'm playing. And, you know, I watched a ton of film on none other than the guy across from me, Sam Cashanova, and watched how he does things and why does he do this and why does he do that. And, you know, it really helped me grow and develop. And then in this offseason, it was, all right, how can I get the ball out quicker? What can I do to get the ball out quicker with my feet, with how I do my drops, with how I throw my screen game, everything. And so that's kind of been my biggest offseason thing is, what can I do? And then it comes with, you know, feet. And when I throw an out route, how do I have my feet? And how do I set my feet to throw this? And if I'm looking this way and I see this happen, how can I just make this throw without having to flip and throw, you know, and be able to make things happen on the fly quickly. And, you know, I'll attribute that to honestly Sam, and he's been, watching him play and watching his film has helped me out tremendously learn this game.
That's the thing I specifically noticed of your game was you get the ball, it's immediately high.
Mhm.
You hold it high.
Yep.
And it goes from that position straight to the throwing position.
Yep.
There's no wasted movement.
Yep.
Like you see some of the other rookies that come in.
Yeah.
Or
Mhm.
less experienced players. There's more arm movement. It slows everything down.
Yep.
And that's the thing that I noticed more than anything.
Yeah. Has to be.
Yeah.
Has to be.
It just speeds up. Every fraction of a second is huge.
Exactly. And I always say, this is half the size of an actual football field.
Mhm.
And so those windows shrink that much faster.
Let's say 70% of the players on 30% of the field.
Exactly.
So-
Exactly. Yep.
Okay, I've got a question for you, Tyler.
Of course.
Last year, you were in the Arena Crown game against the same team, and you
Yep.
took it to the last play of the game before it was determined who was going to win that game.
Yes, sir.
Has the talk all this season been, we want a rematch in the Arena Crown, and this time we want to do it at home? Is this the scenario that you've been talking about all season long, or haven't you even talked about it?
From a team's perspective or just me?
From a team's perspective.
I think it hasn't really been. I think we've gone into as a team's perspective of, hey, we're playing this and we're gonna focus on this one. We're gonna focus on the next opponent and this next practice and this next play. And so it's just taking things one play at a time. I will say, I did count the days until we played them at home the first time this year, and I, sort of stood in front of the whole team and was like, it's, been 348 days since this happened, and we were ready to go and we beat them that day. But I think, that was the initial shock of, man, we got to beat these guys. This is a revenge game, blah, 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 blah. I think at this point now we're going in, this is another game and this is another football game, and we're going to go execute the way we know how to execute.
As much fun as last week was, to me, that Albany game here was the game of the year.
Oh yeah. That was awesome.
That was
so cool.
The energy in this building, which was high last week for sure, but
Yep.
that Albany game, it was
lively. It was
crazy.
loud. And it was, man, there were so many crazy changes. It was the coolest thing to me because sometimes when you play this game, especially in arena, you feel like as the quarterback, you have to be the one that's going to win the game for your team.
You didn't have to.
And I literally came off the field. I think I told you, I was like, I felt like I didn't play.
Mhm.
Like I felt like I didn't play at
You had
all.
like one touchdown, 150 yards.
150 yards. My completion, I think it was 15 for 20, 75%. But it was like, I felt like I barely played,
Before that game, like guys just got killed.
Yeah, literally. If you saw that stat line, you're like, wow,
a bad
Kalka
game.
sucks. That was, whatever. But we won, and again, at the end of the day, it's all about having more points than the other team, and we did that day, and it was really, really cool, great experience, and I wouldn't change it for the world, honestly.
So, third time playing these guys. They always say beating a team 3 times is difficult. Is it, or is that just something people say?
I think that's just something people say. We're going in, I think, as confident as all get out. We're going to come in and play our game. And, I think Albany talks about it. They got healthier over the weeks, but we got healthier too. And so, this is going to be a really good game, best on best. This is the best game, in my mind in arena football in the entire country. And so it's going to be a good one, and I hope you got your popcorn ready.
Well, I know you got to get going, but I do want to get Tim here. He says, "Is Coach Arbette brought out that this is my 6th arena football championship game, or is he going with a different route, different approach?"
No. Coach Arbette he's a legend, but he doesn't really talk about himself. All last year, my first week with Arbette, he continuously said, "I am an 0-2 arena football coach." You say that all the time. And so his focus is the here and now, and it's not about what has been or what's going to be. It's all about what are you doing right now and what do we need to do. So that's Arbette's mindset, and there's a lot of greatness in that, honestly.
Sure. All right. The last one before because I know you're on a super tight timeline, let you go. Thoughts on the move from Nashville to Clarksville, fan base growth, and how it's been since you guys have moved here compared to last year?
It's been awesome. I think we have the best fans in arena football, and I say that all the time, and I'm obviously a little biased, but the move has been great. I think playing in Nashville was awesome, but I think coming here in Clarksville, I think Nashville was it was frustrating because at times the fields shrunk because the end zones rounded too quickly, and so the end zones were only 5 yards instead of 8 or 9 yards like it's supposed to be. So that was tough when we get in the red zone and stuff like that, being able to throw the ball. But then also the fan engagement. I think here we have a lot of fans that love us and get excited.
In that building because it was a circle, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. So it's really cool here where, you know, the fans are right there in the action. They love it, and they get loud. And, you know, I always tell the crazy story, but last week it was the coolest thing in the world, 4th and 15 on our own half-yard line. And this is to kind of seal the deal for your team. So, Randy, but this was kind of to seal the deal. 4th and 15, we had the ball. I think if we score, we kind of put the game away. And you know, I had just gotten smoked, was laying on the ground, got up, was going to get the play, and all of a sudden I hear Colga, Colga, Colga. And I think that was just like, wow, like that was the coolest thing ever. I get the play, go in the huddle, and ended up converting the 4th and 15, and we put the game away. It was crazy.
That was to Malik, right?
Yep, right here.
Yeah.
Yep, right here. Yep.
Yeah.
So it was, very, very cool, and the atmosphere is amazing here. And we love it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a fun place to come see the
Yep.
game for sure. All right, you got another interview you got to hop to. I
Yes.
don't want to make you late, get those guys angry.
Always a
But
pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Always.
See you, Randy.
Good to talk to you.
Thanks again. We'll definitely talk to you soon.
Of course. Can't wait. And you tell little man.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna come find him. All right.
That sounds good. All right. We got another visitor coming here. This is kind of fun. Like, so we're just kind of rolling through, folks. There's your mic, coach. So I got Randy Snow on with me virtually.
All right.
He made the trip down here last week and couldn't pull it off 2 weekends in a row. So
Let's do it once again.
welcome, Damon Ware. How are you doing?
Man, tired.
Just drove
ready
in
to
last night.
just ready to get to the game tomorrow. I mean, that's what we're here for. It's, you know, you got to go through all the media and all that kind of stuff, and just want to get some rest and go watch some film tonight and wake up, have a breakfast, and get ready to play.
What do you think's the big thing? What's the main thing to key on? Obviously, you want to execute, period, but there's got to be something that sticks out.
I mean, what sticks out is we're healthy. We haven't been this healthy since the first couple weeks of the season. I mean, we've gone through way more personnel than I'm used to. That 2-week bye did wonders. I mean, we're 85% or better across the board. Getting Dwayne Brown back right before the playoffs is huge. I mean,
that was a huge loss.
he's a huge piece of the puzzle. But just ultimately, just everybody. I mean, you know, all of our starting receivers were banged up, and you know, last time we were here in this building, I mean, we had our 4th, 5th, and 6th receivers starting, and still ready to put up 69 points. But you know, special teams kind of let us down. So you know, I finally, and I like I said, I always have an answer to everything. This year's kicking game, I got to a point where I just throw my hands up. I don't even, like, every kicker I brought in were you know, they were good before they got to me, and I just didn't understand. I don't know if it was the pressure, you know, just the standard of, you know, we're intense and we have very hard, very structured practices. I don't know what it was, and then we get in the game, and I did not understand it. I literally saw getting, you know, Bailey Hale. That was just such a godsend. I didn't know how much I needed him until I was watching him kick last weekend. And he came out the field one time, and I was like, God, I needed this. And he probably has no idea what I'm talking about. But I was just like, just to feel comfortable with our kicking game and just watching him execute. And, you know, he kicked, you know, 3 deuces and was 7 for 9 and extra points. And it was like, you know, he's apologizing to me, and coach, I'll be better next week. And it was just such a, it was just such a good feeling.
Couple weeks.
You know, yeah, I haven't had that all season. And, you know, we've always had the number 1 kicker. The last 5 years, we've had the number 1 kicker. So it's just been a real odd thing this year to just kind of struggle back and forth trying to find the right guy. But we finally got the right guy. And funny, you know, ran into some of their coaches at lunch today, and funny how the kicking game got brought up. And so I know they watched, you know, that semifinal game and saw the kicker that we have. And, you know, he last year actually helped Nashville get a home playoff game because his winning kick, you know, beating Southwest Kansas was what got them a home playoff game last year. So they're very familiar with them. And
that's also the reason Nashville lost last year too.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
You know,
like I said, it's,
but
you know, we finally got a guy, super excited. Can't wait to see what he does. Kaplan's had such a great year this year for Nashville. I mean, it's, you know, Henry had that kind of a season last year, and Kaplan's having that this year.
Yeah,
so
second highest score in the league, which is impressive for a kicker.
Yeah,
and that's a different touch on this game.
Yeah,
because the kicker was always important, never that
important. No, like I said, during the game here, you know, it was like we're scoring a ton of points, but I'm like, how do we get 9 points every time we score? I mean, you know, do you drop kick it? Do you know, kick for deuces? It was just, you know, again, and just thinking you're scoring at will and still losing. It made no sense. But this has been, you know, definitely a year that's kind of eye-opening, just that the kicking game is hugely important. And maybe I just didn't recognize that as much last year because we had, you know, a great kicker. Henry did a great job for us last year. So maybe I just didn't notice it as much. But this year it's just been, it is a premium to have a kicker that can do some of the things that are needed to win a game.
I'd definitely like to see Henry get strengthened up and come back next year. I think he's been through a lot this in the last calendar year, and I said hopefully I'd like to see him come back with you know, a little stronger. He did that one game here.
Like I said, it was just such a, you know, I was finally glad when he put it out there in public because I couldn't really speak about it, but you know, just you know, the initial call that I got about it was just so.
It's terrifying.
You know, was it like I said? I mean, I'm being told that, you know, he gets hit the wrong way. It's probably a matter of moments before death, and I was just like, you know, where do you go from there? And just, you know, everything that happened to just get him through the season, and obviously to get to the moments of all the surgeries and all those things. But it's just his situation is just so rare. I think it's like 1,000 people in the whole entire world have had this, you know, this type, and that was, like I said, it was just so many unknowns. But,
so for those who don't know, Henry had cancer in his leg for 4 years of playing, I believe is what it was. Didn't realize it till last year. And
so, well, like I said, you can thank Mark Orozco of missing the championship game in 24 as to why that I sent him to the doctor. So, you know, midway through the year, the trainer came to me and said that he was having trouble bending his leg. And so,
it's kind of important for a kicker.
Right. So I instantly go panic, like, oh no, not again. Here's kicker who's having a phenomenal season. And then, you know, the last thing I want to do is end up in that same situation where I go too long with somebody. So it was like, all right, so we just got to send him to the doctor. And so he was telling us that this had been going on for some years. And so it was like, whoa. So, like I said, it was something pre-existing, and you know, like I said, just something that we had no idea. And so we sent him in, and that started the domino effect of just a lot of really crazy conversations. And you know, it's just, you know, just scary. And you know, like I said, just to get him to kick through the end of the year it took a lot of legal
the fact
people.
That he came back and played in this game less than a calendar year from his surgery. I mean, they took a chunk of his leg out, replaced it with steel. Like, I mean, just that's impressive for a kicker to come back after that.
Like I said, you know, I've seen it all, and it just, like I said, and that was the thing, you know, for us. Obviously, you know, New York State is tough to deal with and very expensive, and so that's what it came down to us, was just, you know, just the look of everything was still very scary. And again, there's always a ton of liability, and you know, as I'm always going to protect the brand first before, you know, anything else. And so that was the hardest part, is, you know, and these are the tough decisions that we have to make as coaches, is, you know, it was the liability worth the effort of it. And ultimately, again, with all
he still needed to build up his strength. Like I said here, I'm in Kentucky, but you know, his strength wasn't 100% there.
Yeah.
He wasn't ready, but
for sure.
His talent's still there.
No, like I said, he's not going to get worse as a kicker, and he worked so hard, and that, you know, that was one of the things that kind of tied us together of bringing him to Albany last season. Is he's just, you know, he's very, very detail oriented and very, you know, just his regimen is very top level. And so, like I said, you know, will he be able to come back? I would definitely bet my money on somebody like him that does all the little things. But, you know, just like I said, just looking, you know, the size of his plant leg and just all that stuff. Like I said, it's still scary. And, you know, I had told him, I said, if you were my son, how I would answer you would be different as a coach. But if you were my son, I would tell you, is this even worth it? You know, there's just too many bad things that can happen. Obviously, as a football coach, it's, you know, let's try to win a game. How do you feel? You okay? You know, so it's very different. But like I said, just a scary thing. And I would hate to, just being such a young man, I'd hate to have to go through that as a parent of a child, of just, that something that's scary. But it's a heck of a story. It's definitely a heck of a story.
But either way, you guys did make it here. Third year in a row in the championship game. How do you prepare the guys? I mean, I know it gets loud in Albany. You guys got a good, crazy crowd there. but now you got basically the same size crowd in a shoebox. How do you prepare the guys for the noise and the atmosphere? Because this is different than most places you go to.
Yeah, like I said, our crowd, even, where I was a little disappointed in our crowd in the semifinal game, but it was like the fourth quarter was so loud. It was, you can't even hear yourself think. I mean, so loud wise, I mean, again, it's very comparable to what we have. It's just different. It's because everybody's right on top of you. But, like for me, it's, it's third year in a row. And, I work so hard and I go from one job to the next and go back to the college. And I never really get a time to really think about it. So the other day I just kind of stopped and said, hey, I'm going to stay in bed, pushed our meetings back. And just said, let me just embrace the moment, this morning. And, me and my wife were talking about it. And I was just like, man, it's really insane that we're 3 years in a row. I mean, this kind of success is just unprecedented. Impressive. It's to be celebrated. And so it just, like I said, I'm just so busy throughout the year. I don't really get to think about it enough, but just sitting here and just thinking, wow, this is, there's, and then add in some championships, but before it just, man, it's been a lot of work.
It, though.
But like I said, it never gets old winning. But just to think of just, what we've built here as a brand, what we've built as just, as people call us, the standard, and that's a good term. It's just what we've put into the organization, what we do in the community, what we do with the guys, what we do with player development, what we do with, helping guys to really map out where they're going with their football. Like I said, we do a lot of things that take a lot of work, and that's what I'm most proud about is just we keep bringing in new guys after new guys and with the same results. And so we know our system works. We work super hard. We're very, very structured. It's, like I said, we keep our environment super, super structured and very, very high pressure. And so, we laugh about just, some of the terms we use is just controlled chaos is, just consistently just applying a lot of chaos to our practices to make sure these guys are ready for everything. And so to be here third straight year is huge. And then, a reporter had told me just recently in our market, he said that no, Albany coach of any sports has ever won the championship on the road. And so I'm just a guy who likes to tick those boxes, working at the college. We've ticked a whole bunch of boxes in the last couple of years of me being there. And so something like that just motivates me. As a coach, you need motivations too. So I was really like, okay, all right. Going to Nashville, great environment, playing a good friend of mine who has an awesome football team. Okay, check. And, the possibility of winning it on the road as the first, Albany coach to ever do it. All that sounded really fun to me, and here we are.
Coach, I got a question for you. Take me back to last Sunday when you were watching the semifinal game between Nashville and Michigan. How big of a Michigan fan were you that day, rooting for Michigan, knowing that if Michigan were to win, then you would get to host this game and play Michigan?
I try not to be a fan of either team because either way, I have a lot of work to do. But it was a really good game. And, like I said, same thing that happened to us when we played Nashville and Albany. We spotted them 18-0 before we scored. And so Michigan did the same. But they battled back, right before the half, again, getting to within, 8 points. I mean, that was huge. And, Malik's had a phenomenal season. Just, what he's done has been just incredible, in its own right. And, just what Coach Lyota's had to do there and, kind of smaller coaching staff, all that stuff. I mean, I kind of laughingly say all the time, like, you probably made sure your brother never gets a job again, but whatever. No, like I said, they've done a phenomenal job. Their receiving core was second to none, and they were really, bringing it to Nashville. So, by halftime, I was kind of like, I think Michigan might pull this off. And so they just, every time they got, within that one touchdown strike, something happened. So then they fumbled the ball, boom, touchdown. They just kept shooting themselves in the foot. And so, obviously that's going to happen with a younger team. It truly is, being in these big moments, there's a calmness in it when you've been in it a couple times. And so that is the difference, is having a bunch of young guys, having a bunch of journeymen and bringing them together and starting to build your culture. I think they did a phenomenal job. But in those key moments, you just saw the little mistakes they were making and they just couldn't overcome that. But, to put up 76 points against, the number one team in the league and to battle them for 4 quarters, you can't say enough about them. Michigan did a phenomenal phenomenal job. I've enjoyed, getting to know, George, the owner, and like I said, we got to play in Michigan, and like I said, they played us tough, and like I said, they beat us at home, and we beat them there. But all those games were really tough, and that's a really good football team. And so, like I said, all you can do is hope that a lot of these guys can stick together and build some continuity, and every step of the way, just getting those pieces of experience really helps in the future. So, but hats off to them, and again, they had a phenomenal season. I thought our semifinals in general were just the best 4 teams that deserved to be there. Us,
Right.
Nashville, obviously Michigan, who was hot since they beat us. They hadn't lost a game, and then obviously Minnesota, that's was the 3rd best team, by standing. So we really did have a phenomenal semifinals, and like I said, it sounds cocky, but we really do plan to be in the championship game every year. I just, the amount of work that we put in from our owners to all the way down to our interns, it just really is something special. And we just always, know that no matter what happens, no matter what injuries happen, no matter who we bring through the door, we're going to teach them a system that's going to help us reach the championship game again and again and again.
It definitely doesn't hurt to have guys like Josh Kolka as your number 2 quarterback, in case anything ever did happen to Sam. That's a good guy to have back there.
Like I said, and just this has been a great year for just, building for the future. We get to the first game, we're getting ready for Minnesota game 1, and UFL calls, and literally I had just traded our backup quarterback, Rob, to Oregon. The one thing, again, that I do for everybody, I mean, Michigan too, is if I'm going to let go of a player, I make sure they stay in the league. And, I sent two of the starting offensive linemen to Michigan, Westcott and Hemphill, those were both guys that were here. And so I make sure that we keep players in the league. So I sent Rob to Oregon, and the next day the UFL calls Sam, and I'm like, you got to be kidding. So I jump on the phone and I call Oregon. Hey, he's on a plane right now. Can I just have him turn around, go back out of security, and jump back on a flight? No harm, no foul. I didn't ask you for anything. I didn't want, I gave him to you just, basically to keep him in the league. And they were like, nah. And I was like, wow.
But they didn't play him, though, did they? Did he play this
a little bit. He got a little playing.
So after all that, he didn't even.
Yeah. So, and that was kind of weird. But what, be that as it may, here's Josh, a rookie that just, beat out a second-year quarterback that had a year under our system. Just a great kid, every night, coach, we as much work as we do all day. I'm on my drive home. Hey, coach, can we Zoom? Like, heck yeah, I love it. So sitting in my home office, we're Zooming every night. We're just, somebody, the game means something to them, and they're coachable. And so that was really cool. And then just watching what he did to go 4-0 to start the season, that gave him the development that you really can't really give a quarterback unless you start him. And so that was cool. Then Sam comes back, and then he goes back again. And like I said, it's, you just look at the regular season. I mean, Josh was 5-1 through 38 touchdown passes. Sam was 4-2 through 38 touchdown passes. It's really an incredible story to have 2 quarterbacks that are having that kind of success. So, now, it's hopefully, getting Sam another championship, and then hopefully getting him in a camp this year so he can actually compete and get on the field in the UFL. And, and then Josh becomes the future. And so, it's just, like I said, it's just been an incredible journey with our quarterback room, and every quarterback that's come here is, has done a tremendous job. We surround with great pieces, and all you got to do is just come in and do your job. It's like I said, I love how Bill Belichick used to say, just do your job. And that's really what we ask our players to do. Just do your job. And if you just do your job to the best of your ability, the rest of this will kind of work itself out. So yeah, having 2 quarterbacks has been a godsend. I could play either one of those guys at any given moment. And that's special in itself.
And different style quarterbacks too.
Definitely different styles.
So,
definitely.
Do you change much of your game plan depending on who's in there, or is it?
It definitely changes. So Josh doesn't yet in his career have that really push the ball downfield a ton, and so where Sam started that same way, we built Sam a system that we had to use a little bit of shotgun because that's what he was used to when he first got to us, so we had to, we had some RPOs and things that we built in, things that were comfortable with him. And then we consistently pushed forward with just the offense that we wanted him to have. And so obviously he got there. With Josh, it's kind of the same thing as, Josh is where Sam's 2-play touchdown drives. It's, Josh is going to be 4 or 5 plays. And so, you definitely have to call the game different. And Sam is really the craziest part about him, just having him, when he was young, was his ability to take off and run. He doesn't look like a guy that would be a phenomenal runner of the ball, but boy, if you let him run, in 22, if you go back and watch his film, I mean, he took the league by storm with his legs. And so, just all the development of Sam and where he is today, and Josh is going to be right there. Like I said, we talked about that from the beginning, is you just got to hang in there. Like I said, this has been a tough year of, you go from starter to not starter, you start, you're not, and you just have to hang in there and do your job. And if you do that, like I said, you're going to have a long future here, and you're going to be in a place that we love and praise you, and we want you to be around. And so, we've talked about that a ton, and he's just been an awesome kid. He's just, his family is great. His parents come to games, and, it's just a fun thing to be able to, again, just, as a dad, you got 2 quarterbacks in the league, and as a dad, that's got to be pretty cool.
Oh yeah. Tim Capper chimed in here. Damon Ware 2026, Damon Ware 2025. What's the difference? Is there a difference?
The difference this year was really just in the health of our football team. We went through so much adversity this year just to hang in. And I think that people get so spoiled of seeing us win that people still, no matter what personnel changes we had, like we're still going to win. It's much harder than that. And like I said, it's where last year, 95% of our team made it from training camp through the end of the season. And that's why we were undefeated, is we had that great continuity. And, after a while, you can spend more time game planning and putting new plays together and those kind of things when you're really, that together. This year's been like training camp all year. I mean, it's really just the teaching has just not stopped. It's, going into the semifinal game, we're still, reeling with new guys that came in, mid to or the second half of the season. And so in that regard, it's very different to, just how we got here is a lot different. 2025 was just a fun year because we were able to keep everybody together. Our injuries weren't too bad. And so, like I said, you got a team that just rallied around each other, and to go undefeated, that's just something I'll never forget. It's, how often can you do
20
that?
in a row?
20
in a row. That's not just simply undefeated. 20 in a row is beyond impressive.
That's and like I said, and to start, after the 16 is going, 4 of those being with a rookie quarterback, that's even makes it more special. It just kind of reinforces that what we do here is special, and we're continuing to find the right athletes. We're continuing to develop the kids, and so, but yeah, to win it this year it'd be a year of adversity. I mean, it would, there will be a huge weight off my shoulders, if we're able to pull this off tomorrow. And, just because we just hung in there. I mean, we really, with 3-4 new guys every single week starting, it isn't just because we continue to win doesn't mean it was easy. It was a very difficult season and very trying. I haven't worked this hard in a long time. I mean, day to day, just all the teaching, extra meetings, individual guys that needed more time, just all of the stuff that's happened. And like I said, we probably went through 75, 80 guys of personnel this year, which from last year to this year, we went through probably 30 guys. This year, we probably went through 8. It's just a crazy number. And so, like I said, this would be special, obviously, because of that.
Sure. Randy, I don't want to keep him too much longer. Do you have anything else for Coach?
I'm good. Thanks for your time, Coach. Appreciate talking to you.
Absolutely.
Thank
Enjoy
you so
you
much.
guys, and I always appreciate your hard work.
Yeah. Best of luck tomorrow. It's gonna be a fun one.
It's gonna
be a real good one.
I'm excited.
So, all right. Congratulations. Thanks
All right.
again. You know how to reach us if you ever need us to help you out with anything.
Sounds good.
That's what
All
we
right,
do.
guys. We'll see you tomorrow.
Take care. We'll see
All
you
right.
then.
Good luck.
All right. We got one more coming up here. Alex, I'm not sure how much longer we're going to be going for. Come on up, Coach.
Okay.
It's empty now.
All right. I'm going to give you this. Somebody you know well, Randy.
Take a look here. What do we got? All right.
Who's that?
How to use this? Hold on.
Just
Hold
clip,
on.
or you can do that or a
This
magnet.
is high tech. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You got some cool
All right.
stuff.
Test.
Technically,
test.
cameras up there, but Randy's down here, so it
Okay.
makes it a little,
Yeah.
little
test,
tricky.
Test. We good?
All
That's
right.
my man, Randy.
Randy, I'll let you do the honors.
Coach Leotta, you went all the way back to Michigan, then you went back home to Pennsylvania, and now you're back here where you were a week ago. What has this week been like for you?
Well, I feel like I never left. Pardon my voice is a little scratchy. That's from yelling at the referees down here on Sunday, so I haven't got my voice back from that. But yeah, it's great to be back down here. Obviously, we'd rather been playing, but it's been a great week. The AF1's got a top-notch event down here. Really, just glad to be a part of it, and looking forward to a good game here tomorrow.
So what's on the horizon for you? What do we got?
Well, I'm a free agent, so any teams looking for a head coach, feel free. I'm available. I'll talk to you. Certainly, a lot of teams have reached out. I think they know that you're going to get myself. You're going to probably get a pretty good quarterback, as well when you get me, and some other players I think as well that are pretty good. So. I look forward to my next challenge. I'm appreciative to Michigan. I'm appreciative for the opportunity there. It was just time for me to explore other opportunities, and I'm looking forward to that.
Well, we're hoping for some more opportunities to pop up in the league before this. What do we call it? The not off seasons. There is no technical off season. What do we call it? The season between seasons.
Yeah. There's never an off season. So I'm looking forward to hitting the ground running with the team here soon. So hopefully really soon here, I'll be able to
some announcements.
Find my match, so to speak.
Yep.
And, move on from there. Be looking forward to it.
So what do you think about this game tomorrow?
Well, I have a unique experience. So we've obviously competed with both of these franchises, Nashville 3 times, Albany twice. Both very well coached, obviously, 2 of the best coaches in the league, great coaching staffs, great players. I think, there are, from personal experience, I believe Nashville probably, if you ask me to have to go one way or the other, I would have to go with Nashville, just with the home field advantage here. The fans are outstanding. They're loud,
picking the ball
they're knocking balls out of our players' hands and stuff like that, and they're grabbing players and they're cursing at you, and they're calling me bald and butterbean and all these other things they want to call me, and they don't realize none of that bothers me whatsoever. I've been married for 20 years. I have a beautiful wife. It doesn't bother me at all. So I just laugh at it and listen. Listen to it. I haven't had hair.
You've been married that long, so you're used to the name.
Well, yeah. But I haven't had hair for 20 years. You know what I mean? So it's not something that bothers. Yeah, it's not. It's kind of funny though. They all would say that. But they have a great crowd. Like I said, they're into it. What Coach Fisher has done with the franchise here, and Jeff Jarrett, really the promotion and getting the people in here, and Greg Pogue and the whole team here in Clarksville. They've just done an outstanding job. And I think it's going to be a great championship game. I think it's going to be one for the ages. Albany, obviously, anytime you have Sam Castronova on the field, you have the talent that they have at receiver, and you have the talent they have on the field, you cannot discount them. So,
and they've gotten guys back.
Absolutely.
A lot of players
if I was a betting man, I would not bet one way or the other. But if you asked me to lean a direction, I would probably go with, if you asked me to put a point spread on it, I would have to say Nashville would have to be favored with the home field advantage. I think you'd have to give that to them. But just 2 great teams, and really it's a great showcase for these new franchises that are talking about maybe coming into the AF1, and teams that are here and have joined. I think you see that this is a great showcase, I think, for the league's product. And I think what the AF1 has done this week with this event in Clarksville is really a great showcase of
tell us about the events. Like, I know it was a meet and greet last night, an owners meeting. Did you attend the owners meeting?
There was a great meet and greet last night there at the hotel. There's obviously a big banquet here tonight where the players are going to be honored, the players of the year and things of that nature, and both teams that are competing will obviously be there. I do regret I'm going to have to receive an award for Malik Henry, our quarterback tonight. he wanted to be here. He wasn't able to be. Now, that really kills me. I mean, I really feel bad about that because he deserved to be here. He should have been here for this award. And unfortunately that didn't
quite
work
out.
Didn't work itself out that way. But certainly it's nice to recognize all the great talent that is in this league. And that's kind of what tonight is, a celebration of the season, celebration of the talent that's here. And then obviously I think we're going to have a great football game tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to just being a fan tomorrow and just sitting back and enjoying a great football game.
Now, you probably can't say much, but is there anything you can say from the owners' meeting this morning?
I mean, I think anytime you have people like Jerry Kurz and Coach Fisher and Gary Compton and Chrissy McEwen, when you have people like that as the leadership of the league is in good hands. Like, there are a lot of positive things that are coming. And, as you know, this league has made a point. They don't come out with announcements, and they don't come out with teases, and they don't come out with, things that are not already set in stone.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you'll start to see those announcements, coming here relatively shortly.
So speaking of announcements, they did announce the Bulls last weekend, the Austin Bulls, and we will have the owner of the Bulls on with us Monday night on Fan Zone Live. So if y'all are out there watching this, come back Monday night. We're gonna have the new owner. You guys got to chat with him. He's somewhere back here. I saw him earlier, but I think he might start heading back to the
they might have
hotel.
left. They were here. They got cowboy hats and stuff. The one guy got cowboy hat. Yeah, they're legitimate. They're legitimate Texans. So they're the real deal. I can tell you that. Yep.
So Adam says there's not enough time for this question, but I like this question from Trey. That if you had to compare each of these teams to Star Wars character.
Oh.
It's a tough one.
Have you got 2 hours to listen to this answer?
No, it's so. Listen, okay, I'll give you one. Albany is kind of like Darth Vader. Okay, they've
They do play
dominated
the Imperial March when
they've
team comes out.
dominated for a long time. They've been on top for a long time. Okay. Very, very, you can't, their record 3 years in a row in the championship. That's a credit to Coach Ware and his team. That's so to me, they would kind of be the Darth Vader. They're kind of ruling the empire right now, but you can't discount Master Yoda. So to me, Coach Arbette and his team is more like Master Yoda.
I'm picking up what you're throwing down. I like this.
I mean, the greatest of all time, Coach Arbette, greatest coach in the history of this game. Has all the answers. Yeah. Really. I mean, always has all the answers. Doesn't, the other thing I really like about Coach Arbette and his teams is that, they play the game the right way. They're not, there's not a lot of like the self-promotion type thing with him or his team. He just goes about his business. Not loud,
not flashy.
No, he goes about his business like a true gentleman and a true professional. And that's what Master Yoda is, right?
He's soft-spoken.
So he's hiding in Dagobah there and he kind of comes out of that cave and trains people.
Yeah.
And you look at the guys, the coaches on his staff.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Steve Pappin, obviously offensive coordinator, has done a phenomenal job. And then your man, the defensive coordinator, Sergio, I mean, they're killing it, So he takes these coaches and, former players of his and guys and brings them along, and they just do an outstanding job. So, I think you kind of have a Darth Vader, Master Yoda scenario.
Do or do not. There is no try.
We've got another visitor.
We got another guest.
Pull him in.
Well, let's do it. See who we got.
Adam Samrov from the Nest. How are you doing, Sam?
Adam.
Not too bad. Just wanted to check in with you guys. Make sure no trouble is being caused in Nashville by the Fan Zone guys here.
Not yet. I'm working on it.
They're keeping them in line. They laid out some ground rules. Yeah.
It's such a cool deal, and actually it's wrapping up. There's people are starting to leave us. I'm going to turn the lights off on us in here in a minute, but yeah, no, it's a cool event. I've been enjoying. I wish you guys were all here. It'd been a blast to have you all lined up here with us, but we're working on it. We got some things. At least we get you on virtually.
I saw your picture last night with Commissioner Jeff Fisher. So you look like a very happy guy, my man.
So which one of us, me or him?
Yeah, you, Scott, you.
Yeah, I didn't even know I had a picture with him, but yeah, no, it's, you know what, that's part of what's fun about coming to these games, and you know, hopefully I'm the one that I love the neutral side. I love that anybody that can plan and get your flights ahead of time, and because the best games, the best arena bowls, which, you know, there's only been 2 crowns to go by, but the best arena bowls I've ever been to were ones where the one that stands out to me is New Orleans. We had a group of 20 to 30 of us all going down Bourbon Street, hanging out together, all wearing jerseys from different teams.
That's awesome.
And it was such a cool experience. And I want to get back to that point here again, you know, to where this league can do that.
As far as a venue, though, they couldn't have found a better.
Oh, no, this
like
venue's
just the way it is right now, and their crowd is. And listen, Albany has a great venue and a great crowd. Believe me, don't get me wrong. But you know, either you could have flipped a coin between those two, really, as the just great showcases for the league.
Have you heard the theory now? There's, and you guys. Well, this will be new for you guys. There's a theory out there being pushed by Kentucky's owner, since they're the only team that beat Nashville. If Nashville wins, they're technically the champion.
No. No. I'm here to tell you no. No, yeah, I don't know. That's a wild theory, and I'm into some wild theories, but that's way out there.
I mean, technically, they are the only ones that beat Nashville.
True.
So,
True.
there's got to be some mathematical formula that defaults that to.
In another dimension, maybe.
Right.
So, hey guys, so I just wanted to check. Like I said, I want to check in and show off my flock support and go Birds. And we'll have fun down there tomorrow for the game, guys.
Have fun storming the castle.
All right. All right. Take it easy.
Thanks for checking in, Adam.
And I'll say this, as the flock, for seeing the flock as a visiting coach, and they do phenomenal by their player. I mean, absolutely take care of their guys. They become almost family to them. I mean, just you can see how much they care, and that's awesome. So glad to see their support. Hopefully a lot of them are able to tune in or able to be here in person, you know, but I've heard the tickets are hard to come by right now. So hopefully if the flock is coming down, they get on their phone and get the tickets now.
I hope they already got us. They're on their way down.
Yeah, because it's, it's, I don't know, you'll be able to get them at the door, to be honest with you. I don't
there's 200 maybe.
I don't know.
Left right now, they're going real fast.
So I can maybe sneak you in the back door if you get a hold of me and do it. You know, we could work something out maybe a little bit. You know, I'll sneak you in the back door or something. Maybe.
Well, it's been a blast. This year's been fun. You guys, I mean, that game you all put up here last week was phenomenal. I mean,
it'd have been funner if we won.
It would,
but you know, it was.
You did everything you could to win, and
we did. Our 90%
of the time, that was enough to win.
Yeah, credit to our players. They did a great job. You know, they came out here all year really, and you know. We gave it everything we had. We certainly had nothing to hang our heads about, you know. And you know, we did it with guys that, you know, were cast off other places, and you know, that's something we were proud of, you know. So
and you should be. Like I said, the performance last week and all season, you know, at the beginning of the year was rough. You guys had a brutal schedule, and you know, there's just nothing you can do about it.
No.
But it battle tested you, I think.
Absolutely.
I think you guys were so much better at the end of the year because of how the season started.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it's a credit to you, a credit to the guys. You know, honestly, you guys in Minnesota, to me, are really the true story this year.
Well, I appreciate it.
Yeah, and Washington for that matter.
Yeah.
The way Washington stepped up at the end of the year.
Yep.
That's the true story this year.
What was it, 17 rookies you had on your season, and they were there practically all season long?
Yep. We had very few roster moves really at all. And part of that is, you know, we kind of started teaching them the game, and, you know, they caught on, you know, so we didn't need to make moves with guys. And
that's unheard of.
It is. You know, and also you got to understand, it's almost like we made an investment in those guys. We were willing to take our lumps with them till we could teach them the arena game. And then they started to improve. They started to really gel together. They were a team. I told the guys that in the locker room before the game. If you watch it, our photographer, Doug Julian, actually posted the speech I gave before the game here. And I said that to the guys. I said, you've done something unheard of at this level of football. This level of football is a mercenary league, meaning guys go in and out They drop guys chase money. They go from team to team and all that. I said, you guys actually build a team here. Like, you actually are teammates. You are a team. Like, the guys loved each other. The guys played for each other. The guys play with grit. You know, those are the kind of guys I like. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to, hopefully at my next opportunity, I can bring a lot of those familiar faces along with me, and we'll add some other pieces, and we'll see what we can do.
That's a dangerous team. That's a very dangerous team.
We'll see what we can do.
How was the atmosphere after the game? Obviously, I'm disappointed to lose.
Oh, the atmosphere is crazy here. I mean,
no, for the team for you guys on the way home last week.
Oh, look, everybody, it's the same. You know, it's pro football. So,
but were they proud of themselves for what they put out?
Oh, absolutely. It was. You know, no one was hanging their head. Everybody was, you know, they were proud of the journey. I think they were proud of what they did in the face of a lot of adversity. And like, I'm a professional, so I don't talk about a lot of adversity that happens just because I'm a pro. I'm not going to do that. I'm not throwing people under the bus. I'm not doing all that kind of stuff. Believe me, there's adversity.
Oh, yeah.
But you keep moving, you move forward, and you continue to go towards your goals. And we came up one game short of our goal, which
also the Oceanside guys, when they played you guys that first round in Oceanside, talking to the new owner after that game, he said they were just to the moon happy because they still lost,
but they played a heck of a game.
So well,
and that guy's doing a great job in Oceanside. Alberto's putting together a great program in Oceanside. They've got a lot to be excited about there. He's really committed to having a winner there, and absolutely, great guy. So, and I think a lot of that's here. Austin, I believe, is going to be the same way. You know, so it's exciting to kind of see how everything is and where it's all headed.
So, yeah, a lot going on. Hopefully more information to come as this weekend finishes out. It's been fun already. Like I said, it's been quick. I'm not ready for it to already be game time tomorrow. I could do this for, multiple weeks if I had, if I had the opportunity.
It's a daylight game. So that's
So we're gonna have some fun after that game.
That might be good for I'll be honest with you though, that might be good for Albany, because these Nashville fans like their beverages. I can tell you that. And we joked with some of them, our players before the game, like, what time did you start drinking? They were like 9 a.m.
I'll say it was the same time it was. Same time as the game last week.
So they got to get up early. So the Nashville fans got to get up early to get the drinking started.
There you go.
So that they can have a good time.
So, all right, Coach. Well, I think we're about to wrap it up here, but thank you so much as always.
My pleasure.
Randy, any last words for Coach? I know you talk to him all the time, so it's nothing new.
Yeah, Randy's my man.
Well, we cover this team from the opening press conference to announce the team, and we were there at the very first open tryout when they were trying to sign players. And from the very start, Coach was always saying, it doesn't matter how you start your season or how you play the beginning of the season. It matters how you're playing at the end. And that's exactly what happened. Coach had these guys playing their best football at the end. And yes, they have nothing to be ashamed of in that game last week.
Absolutely.
Proud of you, Coach.
Thank you so much.
So, but yeah, thank you again. And we're, like I said, we're going to wrap it up because it's getting pretty empty in here. Like I said, I'm kind of afraid they're going to turn off lights. And
we got to get ready for the banquet.
But yes, exactly. I got to find out how I got to get in that.
Yep.
So, but yeah, thanks for everybody tuned in. Randy, thanks for jumping in. It's great having you on with us.
No problem.
Game tomorrow. I don't know if we're going to be doing a pregame something or other. Just stay tuned. Hopefully we can do some pregame stuff tomorrow. I don't know. Like I said, we're going to play it by ear. I'm sure I'll go live at some point, at least if nothing, just a quick Facebook Live at the very minimum. But yeah, thanks again. Thanks everyone for coming in. Yeah, thanks for joining us. Until next time, keep supporting these teams, keep supporting these players, and this game that we all love. So until next time, we'll be seeing you soon.
Touchdowns, tackles we discuss.